Hey guys, this is going to be a quick tutorial on how to do task 3 for the non-Mendelian genetics exploration. Task 3 requires you to do dihybrid problems using non-Mendelian traits. So if you remember, non-Mendelian traits could be, in our case, for what we're practicing, either incomplete dominance or codominance. Incomplete dominance and codominance both mean that if you have a heterozygote, you're going to have a different phenotype than just the dominant or recessive that you are used to. So let's take a look at this. So blue flowers, capital B, are codominant to red flowers, lowercase b. So if we take a look at this, we've got capital B equals blue, lowercase b equals red, and these are codominant, which I've written over here to remind myself. Now this means that if we got two capital B's, that individual would be blue. If we got two lowercase b's, that individual would be red. And if they got a capital B lowercase b, since both are codominant, means they're equally as dominant to each other, that means that they're going to be blue and red. Now this doesn't mean it's going to be blue and red mixed. It means that it's going to be blue and red in like patches all over whatever organism this is. So in this case it's a flower, so it'd be a flower with blue and red patches all over it. So we would see both blue and red distinct from each other at the same time. Okay? Now, it says red berries, capital R, are incompletely dominant to yellow berries, lowercase r. Incomplete dominance means that the dominant and recessive alleles will kind of mix, and you're going to end up getting a trait that is sort of in between the two. So if you got two R's, capital R's, you would get red. If you got two lowercase r's, you would get yellow. And if you got a capital R and a lowercase r, you would get orange, which is a combination of red and yellow. So incomplete is when you mix them. Codominant is when they're both expressed at the same time. All right, so these are all the possible genotypes and phenotypes for our trait for flower color and our trait for berry color. Now we have to figure out the individuals. So for the individuals, we are told that we have an individual heterozygous for flower color and homozygous for yellow berries. If you're heterozygous for flower color, that means that you have a capital, a dominant allele and a recessive, or in this case, because flower color is codominant, the other one. So if you're heterozygous, it means you have a capital B and a lowercase b, and your color is going to be blue and red. Okay, so the first individual, capital B, lowercase b for their flower color, and then we are told that they are homozygous for yellow berries. If you're homozygous for yellow berries, that means you have two of the same case of letter and you need yellow. So we're going down here to the yellow berries, and little r is going to be the only way we can get yellow berries. So capital B, lowercase b, little r, this is for individual number 1. Okay, for individual number 2, we need an individual homozygous for blue flowers and heterozygous for berry color. Okay, if you're homozygous for blue flowers, that means the only way to get blue flowers is to have capital B, and you have the same case of letters, so capital B, homozygous for blue flowers. And then we need heterozygous for berry color. Again, heterozygous means you have a big letter and a small letter. That means to be heterozygous, you would have big R, small r, and you would have orange berries. So capital R, lowercase r. Now that we have our two different individuals' genotypes, we're going to figure out their gametes. So to calculate the gametes, these are the possible sex cells that each individual could make, we're going to go ahead and distribute all of our B's to all of our R's. Now why are we doing this? Remember that when an individual makes sex cells like sperm or egg, the sperm and the egg only get half of the possible alleles. Now, because we have two different traits, the sperm is going to get a random B and a random R, and the egg will get a random B and a random R. To figure out all the possible sperm and egg that could be created within these individuals' bodies, we need to put all of the possible B's with all the possible R's. This is very simple, okay? We take the first B over here on the left, and we pair it with both of these R's. So capital B, lowercase r, we write that down. Capital B, lowercase r, we write that down. Then we take the second B and we put it with both R's. So we do second B, lowercase r, lowercase b, lowercase r. And then these are all the possible gametes or sperm or sex cells that this individual can make. Now over here with this individual, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. So capital B to capital R, capital B to lowercase r, capital B to capital R, capital B to lowercase r. And these are all the possible sex cells or egg cells that this individual can make. Now, how do you tell which one is male or female? It doesn't matter. I've literally just randomized it. So you could be, this one could be female. It doesn't matter. But anyway, so now that we have all the possible gametes that we could make, we're going to go ahead and put those onto a dihybrid cross. To make the dihybrid cross table, you draw a large rectangle and you do 3 lines down and 3 lines across. This will create 16 boxes. you're going to put all of the possible eggs along one side and all the possible sperm along the other. So these are all the possible eggs, and these are all the possible sperm. And then basically what you're doing is you are showing all the possible combinations. So we're going to go ahead and take this box, for instance, represents one of the kids. And this kid is going to get a big B from mom and a big B from dad, so we write those down. And then it's going to get a big R from mom and a little r from dad, so big R, little r. Notice I'm keeping my B's together and my R's together, and I'm always putting the capital letter first. That'll help you organize yourself and not get lost. So then this individual over here is another possible child. They get a capital B from mom and a capital B from dad, lowercase r from mom, lowercase r from dad. This individual gets a capital B from mom, capital from dad, a capital R from mom, and a lowercase r from dad. You can go on and on and on until you filled out all of these different boxes. Once you've got all the boxes filled out, it's going to ask you about the traits of the kids. So it's going to ask you what percent of the offspring have red and blue flowers and orange berries. Now, let's go back. The only way to get red and blue flowers is to have a capital B, lowercase b. So we're looking for an individual with a capital B, lowercase b. And then it asks us for orange flowers. Orange berries, excuse me. So the only way to get orange berries, if we look back here, is to have a capital R, lowercase r. So we're looking for an individual with a capital B, lowercase b, capital R, lowercase r. So we're literally going to go through and we are going to find and circle or highlight all of those individuals. So that match this profile. Okay, so we're going to go through, no, 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 yes, okay, so this one, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes. So we have 4 out of 16. Now, to turn that into percent, what we're going to do is we're going to grab our handy dandy calculator, and we're going to do 4 divided by 16 equals 0.25, and multiply that by 100. Anytime you want to make a percentage out of a decimal, you multiply by 100, and you get 25. So 25% of the kids are going to have red and blue flowers and orange berries. Now it's going to ask us what percent of the offspring have blue flowers and red berries. Now, the only way to get blue flowers is to have capital B, and the only way to get red, how to get red berries, which I think is what it asked for, yep, is to have capital R, capital R. So you have to have big B, big R, is the only way we can do that. And we're looking for individuals with this. Now, if we come through here, nope, there are none. So, 0 out of 16 is easy to figure out the percent, 0% have that. Now we are asked, finally, what percent of the offspring have blue flowers and orange berries? So for blue flowers and orange berries, the only way to get blue flowers, again, is capital B, and to find orange berries, we need capital R, lowercase r. So we're looking for capital B, capital R, lowercase r. There are 4 that I've already highlighted that you can see here, and so 4 out of 16 equals 25%. All right, so very simple once you get that down. So let's practice the next one. So 3b. Okay, flower color is normal Mendelian. That means it follows the old rules of what we learned. It can either be teal or white. Leaf color is incomplete. That means non-Mendelian. Green, light green, or yellow are our 3 different options. Okay, so let's go ahead and write that out. We have either teal or white for our Mendelian trait, which is flower color. And we can get capital T, which is teal, capital T, lowercase t, which is also teal, because remember, this is Mendelian. It's any time in Mendelian genetics when you have at least one copy of the dominant or capital letter, it overrides the recessive. Or we could have lowercase t, which would give us white. Okay. Now, this is incomplete for our leaf color, so capital G is green, lowercase g is yellow, and we have these 3 possible combinations. The middle combination, because it's incomplete, is going to be a mix of the dominant and recessive. So green and yellow make a light green or like a lime green, and then we can have yellow with lowercase g. So these are all of our possible combinations. We wrote them out just like before. And then we need to go ahead and figure out what our individuals' genotypes are. So it says 2 individuals that are heterozygous for both traits are crossed. Now, it says that both individuals have the same genotype because it says 2 individuals that are both heterozygous for both traits, okay? So to be heterozygous, again, means that you get a big letter and a little letter. So if you got a big letter and a little letter for flower color, you would have teal, and you would have big T, little t. And if you were heterozygous for leaf color, you would have capital G, lowercase g, and you would be light green. So both of them have teal flowers and light green leaves. Okay, now to figure out their gametes, it's going to be relatively easy. Again, we just take both t's and we put them with both g's. So starting with this first t, this t to this g, so capital T, capital G, and the same t to the next g, capital T, lowercase g. Now we take the second t and put it with both g's. So little lowercase t, big G, lowercase t, lowercase g. And because they have the same genotype, they have the same exact gametes. So we are actually done. Once we calculate one of them, we can calculate the other one just by copying it over. So now we're going to put those gametes on the outside, and we're going to do the box again just like we did for the first one. And you're going to see we get a lot of different results. And then it's going to ask a similar question. So what percent of the offspring has teal flowers and light green leaves? Well, there's a couple of ways to get teal flowers. You could either be capital T, or capital T, lowercase t. But there's only one way to get light green leaves, which is what it's asking us for. So for light green leaves, we can have capital G, lowercase g. So these are the two possible genotypes that could make that. I went through and I already highlighted all the possible ones in green that have that combo. And we found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 out of 16 had that combo. I did the same thing here with my calculator. 6 divided by 16 equals, multiplied by 100, gives me 37.5%. So roughly 38%. Okay, the second one asks me what percent of offspring have white flowers and yellow leaves. Well, there's only one way to get white flowers, which is lowercase t, and there's only one way to get yellow leaves, which is lowercase g. So I look for any individual to have that. I found 1. 1 out of 16. I went ahead and did the math on my calculator, and I got 6.25%. 1 divided by 16 multiplied by 100. Don't forget that multiplication by 100 at the end, 6.25%. The final one, of course, is asking teal flowers and yellow leaves. There is two ways to get teal flowers, so capital T, or capital T, lowercase t. And then it asks me for yellow leaves, which is lowercase g. So I'm looking, I'm looking for this combination. Okay, either of these. I counted 1, 2, 3. 3 out of 16, 18.75. How did I calculate that? Once again, 3 divided by 16 equals, multiplied by 100 equals 18.75%. I hope this video has helped you guys. I hope I didn't go by too fast, but I didn't want to make it too long. If you have any more questions, please feel free to email me. You know where to find my email. And I look forward to seeing you guys in class. All right, take care.